Anyone involved with an animal rescue will tell you they see their share of happy endings and heartbreak. But when one happy ending turns into two out of the same story, well, it needs to be shared. Today I'm showing you how one woman's kindness has kept two best friends together in an almost impossible situation.
Lake Lowell Animal Rescue takes in more animals than most rescues can handle, and sometimes animals they're not necessarily prepared for.
When he arrived, he was maybe a little worse off than we were expecting, and definitely not quite as friendly as advertised, maybe. He was very aggressive, which was a surprise, and not normally something that we would take on.
This is Osiris, a 3-year-old husky mix who had been chained up most of his life, was unkempt, and completely blind from extremely painful glaucoma. Melissa knew turning his life around would be a daunting challenge.
But I didn't want to send him back. He was clearly in a lot of pain, and I decided we were going to take a risk.
It was a journey that took a lot of time, resources, and patience.
I knew that there probably wasn't a lot of other good options, especially for a dog with that temperament. And I was really hoping that in there was a nice dog that once we got him the medical care he needed, we would be able to help him.
After several medical procedures, months of training and rehab, and befriending a 2-year-old pit Boston Terrier mix named Ledger, they started to see a different dog.
He really made a 180 with all of us that he knew. He was really friendly and playful.
But despite that, Osiris was still considered unadoptable by most standards and spent nearly a year at the rescue. And when hope seemed to be lost, they received a message from Carla Hoffman, a Mountain Home resident whose longtime puppy partner had just passed away a few months ago and was ready to let a new pup in.
And when I reached out to Melissa, it was for a different dog that was no longer available. And she said, oh, well, that dog's not available, but I do have a bunch of others. And I said, well, what's your most unadoptable dog? And so she starts with Osiris and she explains about him. And she had so much passion for this little guy. So I drove out to meet him that night. I live about an hour and a half away. He was muzzled and it was a little scary. And I went back the next night and the next night and the next night. And we did 5 days of him getting used to me. And we thought this might be a great fit.
Osiris wasn't the friendliest with most strangers, but sensed something different with Carla.
He sat on my feet and asked me to pet him the first day that I met him. And I wanted to see if he would trust me. And that's why I went back the second night. And the second night I knew that I wanted to make this work. Come on, baby.
Within 2 weeks of getting to know each other and changing up everything in her house to accommodate a blind dog with a ton of special needs, Osiris, now known as Ocean, was the newest part of the Hoffman family.
The second day, he just was at ease. He rolled over on his back, he slept, he snored, and I just thought, yeah, he feels safe.
And though the story could end with that happy ending, Carla knew more could be done to help and asked about Ledger, Ocean's best friend and guide dog back at the rescue.
They're kind of an odd couple, but of all the dogs that Ocean met, Ledger was his favorite, and they did just kind of make an odd little bond.
And despite his own medical and social issues, within a week, Ledger officially became Ocean's brother.
Carla was thinking so much about the dogs, what is going to make them most comfortable, and having 2 dogs together, a dog who can help Ocean navigate the world, she was the one who thought about that.
From the decision to take in Ocean nearly a year ago by Lake Lowell Animal Rescue to finding a forever home for 2 of their most challenged souls, there have been no regrets by any of the kind-hearted individuals involved.
It's not just, like a puppy with a bow on it and they just live happily ever after. They have just been uprooted from everything they've known for, I want to say, I think Osiris was there for 8 months and Ledger for 6 or 7. And then they just got thrown into a new environment. So yeah, it was rocky. And it was really, really hard, and it gets better every day.
Oh, and though this story had a beautiful ending, of course, there are so many similar situations that are looking for their own happy endings. If you'd like to help play a part in it, I'm going to be including details on how to reach out in this story on our website, idahonews6.com.